a brief review on editing images, as well as how to resize and format your images to get them ready to upload to AP. When you are choosing your image, you can quickly see how big the image is by clicking on it in this column view mode, where it shows icons in this column format. When you click once on it, it will give you this little preview page, and it'll tell you what type of images it is, as well as what size it is. So this image is a PNG, a portable net graphic, which we don't want. We need to change it to JPEG. And we also need to make it smaller. It's 17.6 megabytes, and the images to be uploaded to the AP website need to be between 3 and 6 megabytes. So I'm just going to double click it and open it in preview. And I'm going to do all my edits in preview, which is Mac's default image program. The first thing I'll do is to rotate the image and then adjust the white balance. So go to Tools, and then you can rotate left or right. So I need to rotate it left. Next, I'll adjust the white balance because it's a little bit warm. I will say that this image would not be good to use for your submission because in this image you can see that the page is kind of curled here. It's a little bit bowed, and that's creating a gradient effect across the whole page from lighter up here to darker down here. So if you see that in your image, it's not even worth editing. You should really retake the image so that the image is flat. I'm just going to use this image anyway because it actually shows us what happens when you don't have an image that's editable very well, and also because it's an image that's too big and the wrong format. So I'm going to show you how to change those. So we'll go through the edits anyway, even though I wouldn't use this image as a portfolio piece. So here is when you go to Tools and Adjust Color, you get this little menu to pop up, and you can adjust the white balance by changing this temperature slider. So it's a little bit on the warm side, so I'm going to make it cooler. And then I'm going to just quickly adjust the exposure and the contrast to make the page whiter and the text and images a little bit darker. And you can see that gradient effect is not going away. You can see that it's proper exposure here, but then down here it's too light, and that's why this image is not really very good to use. But in terms of the exposure, contrast, and the temperature, these adjustments look good. I can close that. And now I'm going to crop the image to get rid of the outside border, the table, and off the page. So using the cursor, the cross cursor, you can just click and drag to make a crop box. You can adjust it as you need to on the sides and corners. And then once you have it where you like it, you can go to Tools and Crop or Command K, and that will crop the image like that. Okay, so now your image is edited, hopefully, and now we need to resize it so that it will be ready to upload. So back to Tools, and then this is now Adjust Size, and here is the Adjust Size menu, and it'll tell you that it was 17 megabytes, but then we cropped it, so now it's down to 13, which is still too big. The width of the image should be, which is the widest dimension or the longest dimension here. So the longest dimension should be 20 inches. And it'll recalculate your size for you based on that image adjustment. At least it should. It seems to be frozen. It should be changing. This should get much smaller. There it goes. Now it's 2.9 megabytes. And that's an ideal size for uploading to the AP website. If you're doing it in pixels, it's about 1440. And then you hit OK. And now it's always a good idea to zoom in to make sure that the image did not lose a lot of detail, and that looks pretty good. I'm way zoomed in here, and there's lawnmowers whizzing by behind me. So that looks good. If you zoom in and you see that it's really pixelated and you've lost a lot of resolution and detail, then you may need to try making the image a little bit bigger. The website will accept roughly 6 megabyte images. So you could try getting away with, say, 30 inches. Because as you reduce the size of the image from its original one, you lose a little bit of the quality. So this is 5.5 megabytes. So we're going to do that. We're going to make it 5.5 because, like I said, between 3 and 6 megabytes is what you want for the AP website. We hit OK. Last step is to export it as a JPEG. So we'll go over to File and then Export. And now you want to change the title. This title's too long, so we'll call it Portfolio 1. And then change the format here to JPEG. Quality, it doesn't have to be all the way best. It can be somewhere in this neighborhood here. So we'll hit Save. And it's always a good idea to look at the image again to see whether it is still good quality. So now I'm going to open, this is the new version, the JPEG. And if I zoom in close, it still looks pretty good. I haven't lost any quality or detail in the piece. So now that is ready to upload to the AP website.